So here it is. This is my 2018 McLaren 570GT. It is spec'd in Vermillion Red. It has carbon fiber exterior packages, specifically the carbon fiber side mirrors. And the carbon fiber ear intakes. As you can see, we have these nice black McLaren wheels that complement the color scheme of the car really well. The side skirt is non-carbon. And the splitter is non-carbon as well. People from McLaren actually recommended not having these in carbon fiber because, you know, they're so low to the ground and these are more likely to get damaged or scuffed than any other part of the car. And especially with like the splitter, you know, if you were to damage that or to really scuff it, it's obviously going to be much more expensive to have that fixed or replaced. Now, as you can see here too, we have very dark tint on the side windows and on the tailgate, which actually I believe complements the spec here beautifully. The rear and the diffuser is also not in carbon fiber. For the exhaust, we have the MSO Titanium SuperSports Exhaust. It's a level above the sports exhaust option. It makes the exhaust about 5 decibels louder. And let me tell you, when you are driving this thing, even though the GT does have more sound dampening than the 570S, you can really hear this car, and it sounds incredible. And here's a nice, profile of the car, kind of showing you a comparison between it and the Maserati Ghibli, my daily driver. The McLaren is obviously a much smaller car, whereas the Ghibli is much larger, much more wide at the front. Now here's the door. So there's no exposed door handle from the side, which I think actually helps a ton with the aesthetic, and I think it makes the car look that much better. So there is an opening over here, and if you actually look under that panel, you will see a button, or you can feel for that button. Now, as long as you have a key, the car's unlocked, you click that button, the window should roll down, and from there you just open the door. Lift the door up lightly, slowly. And in this GT, these are soft open, soft close doors. So I just lift it up pretty lightly and it opens the rest of the way. Similarly, when I go to close the door, I let it down slowly and then I let go about 75% of the way and it just shuts. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, nice luxury touch. Now the interior over here, we have an Alcantara wheel. All of the carbon fiber interior options, so the carbon fiber steering wheel and paddle shifters, the carbon fiber on the center controls, the infotainment, leather everywhere else. We have the MSO defined seatbelts. Don't currently have the MSO defined carpets, but I'm looking to get those as well to match the seatbelts. But this is a very nice interior. It's super easy to clean with the leather and the Alcantara only on the wheel. This does also have the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. And as you can see here with the windshield, we have a ton of visibility. And the side windows are both very large. You get a lot of sight in this car. Actually, a reasonably large contrast from when I had sat in the driver's side of a Lamborghini Huracan. Granted, I've never driven one, but just from sitting there, the visibility, especially out the rear, was a little limited. Not saying it's anything particularly problematic, but this is certainly better. And as you can see, especially in the GT, when we take a look out that tailgate, you have a ton of visibility out there too. As a matter of fact, you can see that for yourself in the rearview mirror. Now, when it comes to storage for your cups here, we have a cup holder over here in the front. Now, this is a pretty small one. This will hold a plastic water bottle. You have an additional 2 other cup holders over here as well. At least one of them can hold a larger water bottle, but I generally use this to store my keys. You have no glove box at all, similar to the 570S and the 600 LT. You do have a storage net over here on the side. I haven't used this personally. In the GT2, you have a decent bit of storage in the back as well. But honestly, if I have anything I need to store, like papers or what have you, I'll generally put it in the front. For climate control, you have 4 different vents. You have one on the driver's side, 2 in the center, and you have one on the passenger side. Now, that's pretty good considering it gets pretty hot in the GT. Considering you take a look around, you're surrounded by glass just about everywhere. And on top of that, you have a sunroof that doesn't close at all. But it does have a somewhat dark factory tint on it.
Now, I know in the 720s, it's like a, what do you call that, like a chromatic roof? I'm not 100% sure of the name, but there's a button that you can press that either lets more light in or it like really dims. This is in like that dim setting by default, but even then it doesn't look quite as dark as the 720S one gets. This definitely, I want to say, lets in more light than that, and it does get pretty hot in here. The AC works reasonably well, but you have to keep in mind too, the engine gets really, really hot too. So there's a lot of heat on pretty much all sides, coming in from the sun and coming from the engine as well. Because when you shut off this car and you stand behind there, there is so much heat coming out of the back of this car. It's crazy.
Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this brief look at my McLaren 570 GT. I wasn't going to go over every little quirk in detail and what all the buttons do. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that cover those things. But if you are interested in those things, I'll be happy to make another video. Just let me know. And I just recently picked up a GoPro, so I can't wait to take you all for a drive in this thing. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.